Next game.
fully fit.
How
he
to
has his
serve
screws out
level.
this month or this week, and we're hoping he'll be fully fit and looking forward to Los Angeles and beyond.
Well, fingers crossed for a full recovery, and
one.
English table tennis certainly better with Liam around, but the great opportunity for all of those players you've just mentioned. We'll chat a little bit more about that opportunity ahead as this game unfolds, but for now, let's see how the two spearheads of England women's squad, Tintin Ho and Tia Yu, do in this women's singles final. Is Tia ready to make that next step, do you think, Gavin?
Yeah, I think Tia is really committed. I think she's ready to take the next step. She's had one or two injuries she's also trying to deal with currently, but she's doing super well, and this will be a really good match if they both play to their level.
1-3.
What made the difference, do you think, last year? Tintin turned it around, came from 3-0 down. What did you have a chance to look at that and pinpoint what change was made by Tintin and Charles?
Yeah, I think first thing to say is Tintin is like the ultra professional. She never gives in. She's always there, so it's always hard to get over the line against Tintin. I think if there was one tactical change that Tintin made last year was she started to play a slightly slower, higher topspin ball into Tianer's backhand. That caused some mistakes. Tiana's very good when you play quick, as is Tintin. But in that particular match, Tin's just found a little bit of a weakness and exploited it.
Possibly something that Charles spotted as well, and he's been in her corner for probably all of those national titles actually.
Yet 3-0. Four, 3.
Tiana is quite a powerful girl for her age. She has a huge amount of acceleration in her forearm. On her forehand, you'll see a lot of really high power forehands coming from Tiana, and she's also got that ability on the backhand, and when it both works together she can be very, very dangerous indeed.
She's got the early lead, Tintin. Well, there's going to be no panic obviously at this early stage. She'll just keep playing her game.
Tintin has some might call a slightly older fashioned style with the short pimples on the forehand, penhold grip. She has a smooth rubber on the backhand. Does incredibly well. You don't see so much of that style internationally as much as you maybe did 20, 30 years ago, but remarkably talented, Tintin.
Yeah. And she's having a real crack now at full-time table tennis. She's been juggling, and it's easy to kind of dismiss this because it's quite a momentous thing. She's juggled a 7-year medical degree.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
5-6.
One of the things I remember so vividly was Tintin was on placement at the Queen's Medical Centre in Nottingham, yet she was still finding time to train. She was doing 12-hour shifts in a day, waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning, coming in to train. I mean, that is just incredible, and she's now a fully qualified doctor, but she's chosen to go full-time with table tennis for a couple of years to see where it takes her.
And who's to say it won't be longer than that, depending on how she does.
Yeah.
Where do you think realistically she could get to?
I think Tin has got the ability to really challenge the best players in the world. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if we see her inside the top 60 or 70 in the world in the next 18 months or so.
Yeah.
The system in world table tennis is you've got to play quite a few tournaments to accumulate your points, but you know she's played really well in the latest feeders, and even when she's lost to some of her opponents, they've been so close, you know.
Yeah, she has been in the top 100, of course, before. December 2020, she was up at 93, was a career high. So, with the benefits of training full-time, you'd like to think she might be able to push on a wee bit higher than that. Yeah.
And Tiana also is capable of some amazing results. She's played and beaten players within that sort of 100 bracket in the world. She just recently, in Doha, won against the number 11 in the world under 19, and you know she's capable of some really, really strong stuff.
Just looking at the world rankings, actually, Tintin has climbed in recent weeks on the back of those good results. She's up, approaching the top 150, so tracking positively. Tia's not played so much internationally at senior level recently.
9-7.
So Tintin from a couple of points down at 5-3. She's now 9-7 up.
Imagine the confidence Tintin must have in this scenario. She's won it 7 times.
And she's beaten the girl at the other end of the table twice in very difficult circumstances, so she knows that she can do it. Whereas Tia, it's almost, you know, the up-and-coming player. Just to borrow an analogy for football, it's, you know, Manchester City have won the title so many times. Arsenal have been trying to get there. When they do it for the first time, the belief they take from that is incredible. First game point saved. Yeah, there's a lot to be said for knowing how to win. That first one, you and I have talked about getting Tom Jarvis a feeder title at WTT, or maybe even a higher level contender. Just that first one, and he's more than capable of it, but just getting it over the line really elevates the belief.
Yeah, it's common for players who are on the way up to sort of feel like they have to do more in certain situations than they actually have to. That deep inner belief is so important, and experience is how you get that.
There it is, the first game on the board for Tintin. How psychologically important that? She was 3-0 down against Tia last year, so she's struck the first blow this time.
Yeah, that's going to be difficult for Tianer to take. She's going to be thinking, wow, I was 3-0 up and I couldn't beat her last year, now I'm 1-0 down. You know, that's going to be tough.
Let's see how Tintin turned that one around. She was down, as I say. That was a lovely shot by Tia. Fast up to the table rallies. A little apology from Tia there. And that's the game point. Tia was really targeting the crossover then, wasn't she? And Tintin just had the quick foot movement to get herself into position.
Yeah. I mean, looking at this, sometimes when I watch Tia play, you almost want her to be a little bit more aggressive, you know. It's a little bit contained sometimes, and I think she's got the ability to be a little bit more aggressive in her forearm action, be a little bit faster through the ball, create a little bit more speed and power. And the other thing, as you mentioned there, she's playing down the middle of the table. You know, maybe trying to exploit the angles might open up then the opportunity.
Yeah. Just while they're making their way back to the table, I'll remind everyone of their route to get to this stage. So Tintin didn't drop any games until the semi-final. She beat Malia Baig in the round of 32. That was a best of 5. And then we switched to best of 7 from the round of 16 onwards. She beat Catherine Liu, teenager from Leicester. And then more experienced player Letitia McMullen from Hampshire. Those were both 4-0. And then Ella Pashley took a couple of games off Tintin in the semi-final before Tintin got through 4-2. And down the bottom half, Tia, who is the second seed, she beat Maya Sultan in 3 straight in the first game. Lost the first match. Lost the first game against Mia Lakhani, but came back to win that one 4-1 in the round of 16. And then beat Rachel Ayres. Rachel had upset the 8th seed Anna Green, but the step up to Tia was a step too far, and that was 4-0. And then Tia beating Sophie Early in what seems a very long time ago, back at the start of the day in the semi-finals. So yeah, we've got the top 2 seeds in this match. We'll have the top 2 in the men's singles as well. So it's been a little bit of a winding road. Not everything else has gone to plan, but we have got the seedings as they should be for the finals.
Three, one.
I think what Tia's doing there, she's moving the ball around. First 3 sets, her 3 points a little bit more. She's going wide back and then into the middle. And, you know, I would say that's a good system. Not just because she's playing Tintin, actually just for her own development. You know, being able to hit the ball into different areas of the table is very, very important to get to the next level. She has a natural quality in the backhand. She has pimples on her backhand. It's very difficult to play against. But executing the different angles is important for both of these players to to compete with some of the best in the world, which they will be doing in London.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll perhaps talk a little bit more about that at the next change of ends.
2-4.
Important for Tintin to get that point, I think. 5-1, it's not insurmountable, but just keeping her in touch at the first towel break. Seeing a bit more of the high toss serve from Tintin this year as well. Is that something that you've been helping her to develop in England camps?
Yeah, I think, if I remember rightly, I think it might have been something that John Murphy and Tintin had a conversation about. Tintin wanted a bit more variation in their service.
6-2.
With the penhole grip, it's not always that easy to get maximum quality service, so having a higher toss serve can disturb the rhythm of the opponent. And actually, it's been really successful for Tintin. That I've seen her play some very good players, and that's disturbed the rhythm, and she's gone on to beat the players. So yeah, I mean, Tintin's on the up currently at the moment. She's doing really well. She's full of confidence. She's done incredibly well with Connor Green in the last mixed doubles events. She won a feeder and got to the final of a feeder, which is no mean feat. And they're currently sitting at 48 in the world at their mixed doubles. Yeah,
that's remarkably rapid progress for Connor. It's about the third time we've said this in the commentary box today, but Connor, whilst not a doubles specialist, that would be to disrespect his singles ability, but he seems to be in demand. He's got to feeder finals with Sophie, semi-final of a star contender with Tom, feeder finals with Tintin, won this title with his sister Anna, so yeah, he's in demand as a doubles specialist.
Yeah, the thing with Connor is he's got such quality when he's got time to play his quality that, you know, he's a tremendous doubles player, he really is, and he's got such a calm head. You know, he's quite a young chap, but he's a leader on the court, and he keeps his opponent calm.
8-4.
So what we're seeing Tia do now a lot more is move the ball around, as I mentioned a few points ago, but I don't believe she will beat Tintin from one position. I think she's really going to have to move the ball around if she wants to compete.
Yeah, it's that variety, isn't it? You want to keep your opponent guessing, never quite sure what's coming. Bit of disguise as well. It's fascinating, this sport, all of this playing out at such a high tempo. Yeah, split-second decisions, fine motor skills in the wrist.
6-8.
Important again, Tintin, just making sure that gap doesn't grow anymore, with Tia only 3 points away from winning this game. Staying in touch.
Seven, 8.
Now the deficit.
Timeout.
Only 1 point. Oh, and an early timeout. We've seen this more and more. Lots of early timeouts in this finals day. Is that a trend?
I think, yeah. I mean, it's certainly been a trend today. My perspective on that would be that Tia knows she has to try to win this set. If she's 0-2 down against Tin, that is a very, very difficult task to complete. It's not impossible, of course. You know, Tianer would be capable of doing so, but you've got someone who's won this title 7 times. You know, it's not easy to come back from 0-2. So, you know, she's probably thinking, how do I disturb the rhythm? How do I at least get to 1-all? If I can get to 1-all, I've got a chance.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, the kind of received wisdom is that you don't take an early timeout. You leave it until you might really need it. And, you know, I guess there's a bit of a trade-off. You know, do you are you going to regret it further down the line, or is the here and now the most important thing?
Yeah, I think it's a difficult one. It's sort of, the coaches often discuss this. You know, sometimes a coach will call a timeout for a player, and exactly that. Do you save it for the 5th set or the 6th set? But the thing is, you might not get to the 5th set, and you could end up losing 3-love and so, or 4-love. So.
A shot there in the background of Harry Juttle, one of our most senior umpires. He'll be at the World Championships in London, so will the man who's assisting him, Vladimir Shadranov. Tintin's come all the way back. She was 4 points down, I think, at one point. I think it's the last 4 that she's won.
See, this is where Tintin's so strong. If you can't get her moving, she very rarely misses.
8, 9.
And it's not how you start a game, it's how you finish it. And some of the Chinese, they're never fussed by being 5-2 down or something like that, because they know that when it comes to the business end, they'll have the quality.
9, oh.
Yeah,
Tia stopped the rot there, though.
So much of table tennis is the ability to just keep repeating an action and being able to complete 3, 4, 5 high quality balls in a row. And if you know you can do that, then as it goes to distance, you've got the consistency. And a lot of players can't do that for the distance. So yeah, the best players in the world have a calmness about them. They really do.
Yeah, I think that's
10,
true in many
9.
sports. And it kind of, the physical manifestation of that is they seem to have so much more time than other players. And of course they don't. It just seems that way because they're relaxed, they're calm, they're anticipating. So game point for Tintin. This is a big point.
11,
Oh, and the
9.
best rally of the match, and it ends with a
Game
stroke
to
of luck in favour of Tintin, the defending champion. Tia, you can see her just sag there. That's going to be a big... Yeah, she's leaning on the barriers. She can't quite believe it ended that way. She was in that rally and, fine margins. Another day she would have won that rally. It would have been 11 all, 10 all. Not to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because from a coach's eye, what I'm seeing here is Tia wanting to start with a flick all the time and then getting into a rally that I personally think Tintin currently is a little bit better than Tia at. If I was advising Tia in this scenario, I'd be saying, change your receive. Look at trying to make Tintin start off a backspin ball, for example. And I think that's the type of thing that you've got to look at when you're in the match, because what I'm seeing here is the rat-a-tat-tat rallies are favouring Tintin's style, and I'd be looking at what could be done.
Tia's father in the background. He's not actually coaching her, but he always sits close by and lending support.
Third game. How to serve. Level.
So Tintin halfway forward in that quest for the 8th national women's singles title.
Love. 1.
What I think's so good about this, Tianer is 18 years of age. She's a last year junior, and having to fight so hard for her first national title can only be a good thing for table tennis in England.
1.
The fact that Tintin's there leading the way, making it difficult for Tia. Tia will learn from this. She'll come back, and irrespective of how this match ends up, this is a great match that both players will be able to learn from.
Yeah, I think we said it last year as well, that it probably won't be too long before Tia does win this title.
2,
It may
1.
still be today, of course, but even if she doesn't, just the fact that she's had 3 national championships, bronze medal, silver medal, and at least a silver medal today. So she's not going anywhere. She's going to win this title at some point.
1, 3.
But we're still early in the match. It's only 2-0.
Absolutely. And she's got an early lead in this game, so doing the right things.
In 5 minutes, it could all change.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the 11 up. Obviously, it used to be 21. The games had a little bit more of a narrative, I suppose, about them. Oh, that was a lovely put away.
Oh.
And again, so from a couple of points down, Tintin's brought it back to 3-all. Yeah, Tia's targeting the centre. Maybe she needs to find the angles a little bit more, try and hit those corners.
Three, 4.
Tins is playing really well here. She's barely making a single mistake. That makes it so difficult for anyone playing her on this way. If she's playing at this level, she's capable of beating anyone, and she's not making any mistakes. And that's the thing, that when you've got an opponent who doesn't make a mistake, what do you do?
Yeah, it must be quite demoralising, but I guess you just somehow got to push through it and trust that at some point you'll get some openings and then make sure you take them. But of course, the more you force it, the more likely you are to make a mistake as well.
6-3.
Yeah, Tintin now really showing that she's taking charge of this final. I'm not going to say if she wins this game it's all over, because we saw last year when the boot was on the other foot that it's never over.
4-6.
But Tia certainly needs to change something. Get a bit of luck perhaps as well, that wouldn't go amiss.
5-6.
Now it's her turn to close the gap. And we have parity again at the second towel break of the game.
It's interesting because sometimes in table tennis, when you're feeling like you're second best in the point, you can use your emotions to still tell your opponent, I'm in this still, I'm coming after you. And I remember last year, Tia was very emotive. She was celebrating a lot after every point, and she's not done so much of that this year. And I wonder if that's a decision she's made not to.
I wonder if we might see a timeout in this game now. If Tintin were to lose this point, might that be what they do? We'll see. What a great rally this is. What a great view of this rally. Unusual angle.
8.
But no, Charles deciding against the timeout. That's I think 5 points in a row.
9-6.
Charles still keeping his timeout powder dry, even though I think that's 6 in a row. And suddenly, from saying it looked like Tins was taking control, Tia says, oh no, you're not.
7-9. Eight, 9.
You sort of feel that this is a must-win set for Tia, don't you?
It feels like a must-win set for both of them, actually. They're neither of them are giving it up, are they? They're taking it in turns to put little runs of sort of 4 or 5 points together.
9-0.
Now Tintin, yeah, she senses as well that she wants to win this one. This is a big step forward if she does. She would back herself to win one of the next 4 games. She'd back herself to win the next one, but you know what I mean. That it's to get to 3, she won't. She's less likely to let it slip from 3 up, just because of her experience. Yeah, they're certainly both approaching it as a must-win game.
9-10.
Tintin showing her emotions, and that she does show emotions, but by no means every point. She's quite controlled, but when it matters, she'll have a cho in her. Game point for a 3-0 lead.
Ten. Oh.
She'll want that shot again. That's an unforced error.
Yeah, and just flexing her shoulder. Maybe she felt a little something, I don't know. Just rehearsing the shot, perhaps. 1 serve each now, alternate serves from Deuce, of course.
11-10.
Well, here we are. It's turned around, and now Tia has a game point. Oh,
11 all.
she might feel that she's not had the rub of the green, Tia. I mean, we always say these things even out. They don't always in the course of one match. They probably do in due course, but that's a couple of key points that have gone against her just because of a net or an edge. It's hard enough to beat Tintin without her having all the luck as well, but Tia makes luck of that, and it's her time to chow.
I feel like there's something left in Tia. You know, she's celebrating those points. There's still a belief in her. If I can get this set, maybe.
Yeah, it's a great mindset to have at a young age.
Oh.
The chows are coming from both ends of the table now. They both sense the importance of this one.
Twelve, 13.
And a game point again to the defending champion. Can Tia retain that belief? She's got the serve. Oh,
14,
beautiful
12.
change of direction. Just that experience there coming through. Well, we saw last year Tintin come from 3-0 down. I wouldn't say it's going to happen this year. You never know. Can you see a way back for Tia now?
Ooh, that is. It's not. Obviously, it's not impossible. Like, it's been close, hasn't it? It's whether or not Tia actually thinks she can herself, I think.
Yeah. That was a high quality game though. Here's some of the best bits that we're seeing. And there's that game-winning shot down the line. Just guiding the backhand. Sometimes you don't have to whack the ball, just guide it, use the pace that's on it into the open space. Yeah, as you say, it's what does Tia really believe? We'll find out. Even if she does though, Tin's got such quality that there's nothing Tia can do.
No.
But we shall see. We got potentially one game away now from history.
She'll have to go out here, and I think Tia has to be a little bit more aggressive. In the moments that it's close and Tintin's just coming off best, I think it's because Tintin is slightly more aggressive. She's got more conviction behind the shot. Conviction often comes from belief, of course, so you're probably seeing an element of more belief from Tintin, of course, than from Tia, but
you to serve.
You've almost got to go hell for leather now and go, do you know what, I'm going to go out on my sword here.
Go out swinging. I mean, it's not a bad way to go. It might just nick a game, and then suddenly you just change the dynamic. You're in the match. And little Tia must think the world's against her at the moment because the game starts with a fortunate net for Tintin.
One, oh.
But this time the net is not Tintin's friend.
Two, one.
Just the first little hint of negative body language there from Tia.
Two, oh.
Can you train to improve your belief, or can it only come from results and from the knowledge that your technique is sound?
Two, three.
I think definitely, yeah. You know, ultimately, what I try and say to all the athletes are, if you can win 1 point, you can win 2 points, and it's about resetting every point, thinking about what you can do. I think sometimes if you think too much about yourself and
4,
not what you need
2.
to do to win the point, that can be a problem. But of course it comes from preparation, it comes from hard work, it comes from being in these environments a lot. But certainly being able to think positively, say the right words at the right time, key little phrases that help you, definitely helps. So I do think it's definitely trainable, yeah. You have to convince the mind first through your... And sometimes to convince the mind you've got to say things that you
4,
might not
3.
believe, but by saying it enough, you start to believe it.
Yeah. But a good technique has to underpin that as well. You have to be able to trust that technique. So the drills that you do in the hall, know that you've got the quality of that shot making.
3, 5.
This is starting just to have the feeling that it might be in the last phase of this game, this match.
Three, 6.
We wondered if Tintin could get to the 8th title. We wondered if Tintin had the stamina to win 4 matches, take 3 titles today. So far, she's answering all the questions in the affirmative. 5 more points for a place in history.
Seven, 3.
Make that 4. You can see now, almost see the confidence flowing through Tintin.
For those who might be tape test fanatics out there, and from a coach's eye, the difference here is the energy coming through the legs of Tintin. So if you watch the way when she strikes the ball, she puts all of the body rotation her legs into the forehand.
7, 4.
Sometimes younger athletes take a little bit of time and a bit of a while to get to that ability, if you like, and it's a combination of strength, training, timing, anticipation. But when Tintin plays her forehand, watch how her legs jump into the ball to get all of the power through it.
Yeah. And I suppose with a young athlete as well, they may not be fully grown, so that also adds another element
5,
into
7.
it.
Yeah. And sometimes
Timeout.
when you use your legs to really accelerate the contact and jump, if you like, into the ball, what that allows you to do is then recover quicker. It's almost like an elastic band, you know, you pull it back, you fire it forward and it springs back, you know.
Yeah. Tintin herself calling that timeout, and I think Tia's won the last 2 points, so Tintin now just thinking, what do I need to do to get me over the line, those last 4 points. I've been here before, I know I can do this. One last big effort, maybe. Tia will be aiming to prolong it into a 5th game though. And of course Tintin calls the timeout, but it is an opportunity as well for the other side to have their chat and see if they can anticipate, well, okay, what's she going to be saying and doing now to get her over the line? How do we counter that?
Yeah, that is an interesting timeout. So we were talking earlier about early timeout. That feels like a very early timeout from Tintin, because ultimately if she was to lose this set, she might have wished she would have kept it, for example.
Yeah.
But I think what's probably happened there, she's seen the finishing line. She maybe feels like she's got a bit tight in the arm. You know, that's quite a common thing. She thinks, you know what?
And she's had 4 matches today.
Yeah, yeah.
5,
Go
7.
back, have a reset, come back and try and finish this off in 4.
Yep.
Five, 8.
Tia just was trying to move Tintin a little bit more there, but misses. Just misses that inside-out forehand. 3 to go for Tintin.
8, 6.
Just flexing that shoulder a little bit, maybe after a long day. In her 4th match, she's just beginning to feel a little tightness.
Nine, 6.
Yeah, that's the sort of rally that you said earlier, that there's only going to be one winner of 9 times out of 10. Tia trying just to find a different angle, but Tintin had the answer.
Net. 9-6.
Yeah, I think for Tia, reflecting on this, she'll probably have her own thoughts, but certainly from a coach's perspective, I'd be looking at
10.
trying to increase the strength in their body.
Yeah. Here we are. 4 championship history-making points for Tin Tin Ho. That 8th title could be decided in the next few seconds.
Seven,
She'll have
10.
to wait just a little bit longer. Tia making her wait, and she's got another serve to come. 3 more chances though.
Ten, 8.
A little gasp from the crowd. Well done, Tia, though. You've held your 2 serves. And now, Tin Tin, little encouragement from the crowd. I know her great friend Maria Sapsinos is here today, watching this. Only woman to beat Tin Tin in a final since Kelly Sibley. Here we go, though. 3rd chance.
11-8.
And she's done it. And beaming smile across Tin Tin Ho's face. She is officially the greatest of all time when it comes to the women's singles. She's got her 8th title. 11-9, 11-9, 14-12, 11-8. 4 close games. Tia, it's disappointment again for her in the women's singles final. And there goes Tin Tin to a big embrace with Dad Charles, who's been by her side. An emotional moment for them for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have just witnessed history. The legendary Tin Tin Ho has just broken the all-time record for women's singles national titles. Tin Tin, how are you feeling? Soak it all in.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you to everyone who came to support me. Yeah, this year was especially emotional, not just because of the title, but like we had a tough year as a family, and like I'm so happy that my dad was in the corner and like I could win for him as well. So that means the most.
Tin Tin, obviously a fantastic record that was currently held by Jill Parker. But what does it mean to you to now be the record breaker and the holder?
Yeah, it's an honor to have my name in history. But to be honest, I didn't really think about it that much because, you know, every year there's always going to be a number to chase or something. So I'm really proud that I was quite unattached to the number and just played my game.
Obviously a very different final compared to last year. Last year, you still won the title, but was 3-0 down. And today, 4 straight games. Tell us how you have been preparing for this year.
I've worked a lot on my mindset, and it somehow sort of clicked before nationals, so I'm so happy for myself. Yeah, I did get lucky at times. You know, it was a very close match, so the score doesn't really show how tough the match was. So yeah, a bit of luck helped me, but I'm just grateful I could win.